Okay, everybody, welcome into the Tiger's Den, I guess that's what they call it here in Hurricane. You got Keith Curtis and Connor Collins on the call tonight, and this game will be streamed on the Fox Sports Southern Utah, or the Fan Sports Network. And Connor, it's going to be a fun night. I know Snow Canyon coming off that big win Wednesday against the arch rival Dixie, getting the overtime victory against the Hurricane Tigers, who are still trying to get that first region win. Should be a lot of fun tonight.
Yeah, right now we got two separate teams kind of going in separate directions on the season. Hurricane, like you said, looking to get that first region win. They're trying out there. They've had a couple close games. We look back to Cedar a few weeks ago, right before that break at the end of January. Lost by 3 points. They were right there, couldn't squeeze it out, and then they've had a tough run of games after. Snow Canyon, however, bouncing off of a, like you said, really big win against the Dixie Flyers, a team that we were saying could possibly go undefeated all the way throughout region. Snow Canyon gets it done, gets a hard win on Wednesday night. I'm excited to see what they're able to do here tonight. Maybe want to pay attention to Owen Mackey a little closely with that ankle. We saw him land the other night. Looked like he was a little nimble getting up. I'm curious to see how healthy he'll be able to play out there tonight.
Yeah, for those of you at home that are watching this, the game against Dixie went into overtime, and he had been battling. Owen Mackey had been. That's Snow Canyon's I think he's the best player in the region.
I don't think many people will argue you there. Him and Kyle Lemke, those two, they went at it, and we got to watch that battle on Wednesday night. You know, Lemke finished with, I believe it was 31, and Owen Mackey had 28. The guys just went back and forth. I'll tell you what, though, Keith, one thing that I can't wait to see tonight, if Mackey's good and going, what's going to be the highlight play?
Yeah.
Every game I've watched, there's always been one or two moments in the game where something just makes my jaw drop to the floor, and I look at this kid and say, he's going to be playing basketball very high level somewhere soon.
Well, and he's only a junior. He's going to be back next year. And I was fortunate enough to call the game earlier in the year when they played at Snow Canyon, and he had two fantastic dunks in that game. Just put on a show for us, and it was a lot of fun. But like you said, that ankle is a big question mark, and he can't afford to, keep tweaking that thing before the state playoffs here in the next week. So it's going to be interesting to see.
All right. Let's get into some of our Finlay Subaru pregame keys to the game. Finlay Subaru works hard to be active in the community, and they have received the 2022 Subaru Love Promise Customer and Community Commitment Award. Come reserve your new Subaru at Finlay Subaru. All right, Keith. First, let's start with Hurricane. What's a couple keys to the game for them so they can finally get that first win here in region?
Well, I think they got to muddy the game up in the old church ball adage. They got to be scrapping, and that's the kind of team that they are. They got some height, and they got some bodies. It's just they just can't seem to go in spurts where they can't put the ball in the buckets. So they got to make it ugly, and they just got to hang in there and kind of go quarter by quarter, in my opinion.
100%. I think for Hurricane tonight, it's going to be how many times can you get the ball into the basket. You don't want to just put shots up to put shots up. You want smart, you want concise shots. And I think Hurricane, like you said, they do have the advantage down low, no doubt about that. Owen Mackey, he's about 6'4". He can jump out of the gym.
Yeah.
But other than him, it's really only Bear Levitt for the Warriors who have that kind of height down there in the post. If Hurricane can attack that and take advantage and get smart shots down low, they can try to battle and, like you said, keep this a close, thick game. Yeah.
If they can keep it close, then they got a chance. And the other factor that plays into this, I think, for Snow Canyon is they're going to be a letdown. They're coming off that big win over the #1 ranked, in the region, and then you're playing a team that it's like, well, I think, we can show up and win. And
exactly. What's the mindset that the Warriors come out with? Because, like you said, it's easy to fall asleep on one of these games. You can come out and just feel comfortable, feel like you have it in the bag. And when you start to feel that way is when you let teams creep in. We see it all the time in sports. And, Snow Canyon, one thing I've noticed with this team, and just to bring it back to some of our keys to the game, if Owen Mackey is being locked up, or I'd say locked up with air quotations for the fans who can't see, if he's being defended well, can the other guys make their shots? Can you make offense happen on Snow Canyon? Because I think a lot of times they get caught in just depending on their athleticism and transition offense. I'd like to see them set up a couple plays, move the ball around, and find the wide open shot.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And, I think when they get into the state tournament, that's what other teams are going to do. They're going to put their most athletic, biggest guy on Mackey body up on him and really force him and everybody else around him to beat you.
Yeah.
You know, they try to contain Mackey, and so far, you know, the games that Snow Canyon's lost, it's because the other guys couldn't come through in the clutch moments. But, you know.
That's really, like you say, Keith, that's kind of just how basketball works sometimes. You got to have everybody all together working.
Yeah.
I think Cy Meacham could have a big night tonight. I mean, we look at some of the guard play for Hurricane. I think that's kind of where they're a little bit lackluster. I know they have the Nephi Iloa and his brother Owen Iloa, but I feel that the Snow Canyon guards can take advantage of especially this perimeter space that they get.
Yeah.
If you give Cy Meacham more than 3 feet, he's not scared to let it fly.
Well, and what we saw last game against Hurricane, because of the size difference, Snow Canyon went 5 wide. I mean, they just played, outside the three-point line, and then they could do some back cuts, some of that old UCLA, Princeton offense, and then they started lighting it up from 3, and the game was over by the third quarter. So it'll be interesting to see, how Hurricane can respond and utilize that strength, that height inside, because I really think that's the one way that they can hang close with them for a bit.
Yeah, you look at Hurricane's past few games here. So just going back a little bit, this week on Wednesday, they played Crimson, lost that game 56-37. But for a while there, it looked like Hurricane was kind of taking it to them. Like you said, you saw this game going back and forth. And then the Mustangs around the fourth quarter kind of found their drive and turned it on. The week before, Desert Hills, that game was just kind of always out of hand. It seemed like the Thunder had their shot on that night. But I'm telling you, this Hurricane team, they have a lot of fight. And if they can take the smart shots and take it down low to a team that shows they have a weakness down low, I think there's a chance for Hurricane tonight to get that first region win. Yeah,
there's a chance. That's why they play the game, right?
Exactly.
You know, one of the guys that we haven't mentioned for Hurricane that didn't play a lot in the first game is R.J. Wright. He's 6'4". He was a really good receiver in football. And when he was in, he bodied up with Mackey and really created some problems because they were about the same size. And they're built about the same.
I was going to say, same athleticism as well, too. That'll be a fun matchup here tonight, like you said. R.J. Wright going against Owen Mackey. Well, it'll be to see how healthy he is.
Trying
to watch the warm-ups and see what he's feeling. You know, I haven't seen him do too crazy jumping or anything like that, but it's just warm-ups, right? Getting loose.
Yeah. Well, and in that first game, too, R.J. Wright didn't even play the first half. The coach put him in and started the second half. And he went off for like 8 points, and really. So I really think he could be a guy that we might want to watch tonight as far as if he gives them any problems. But I just saw Mackey just a few minutes ago put a two-hander down. I think he's going to be fine.
All right. We're going to go ahead and take a quick break here. When we come back, we're going to get some more pregame coverage and get ready to introduce our starting lineups. So we'll be right back after this quick break.
Utah is growing. And we're growing too. What started on the U of U campus has grown to over 110,000 members with 20 locations, and we're ready to meet even more of you. More than a campus or a branch, we are Utah's teachers, businesses, and families. For over 65 years, we've been part of your community, and while our name is changing, our commitment to you is not. University Credit Union is now You First Credit Union. See why it's getting even better here. Welcome to You First.
Create your own relaxing, comfortable space. Boulevard Home offers the guaranteed best prices on furniture, appliances, mattresses, and more. And buy with no interest financing. Shop Boulevard Home, because home is who we are.
It's not something we think about much, except when it's in bad shape. At Holbrook Asphalt, we help cities, HOAs, and businesses avoid replacing painfully expensive roads and parking lots. To avoid the cost of replacing asphalt, you must effectively preserve it while it's still in good condition. University research has shown Holbrook Asphalt's HA5 slows asphalt aging by 67%. We make your pavement assets last longer, cost less to own, all while achieving higher property values. Visit holbrookasphalt.com to discover more.
All right, welcome back, everybody, into the Tigers Den here in Hurricane, Utah. This is Keith Curtis, and we got Connor Collins streaming to the game to you live tonight on the Fan Sports Network. Connor, we were just going over some of the keys to the game. Let's talk about some of the other individuals that we might want to look forward to, or we'll probably be calling their name out tonight. Who's a couple guys that we haven't talked about that you kind of got your eye on?
So I'm looking forward for Caleb Jackman for Hurricane. We've already kind of mentioned a little bit about the size difference. 6'9". I'm 6'8", Keith. He's taller than me. That's a big kid there in high school.
Yeah,
I think
he's a big dude.
If he can find a way to get his body and kind of put some of the technical footwork stuff together, Hurricane might have themselves a really good player. But it's just, like I said, you can't just be big in basketball. You got to be able to do the small things. It's the footwork. He's only a junior, has another year to develop.
Yeah.
And then for Snow Canyon, I'll go ahead and match it the other way. I'm going to go with Bear Levitt. He, like I said, is not necessarily the traditional center. He's not going to go out and get you a whole bunch of rebounds and box out and be the strongest guy down low. But what he does do very well is he does get offensive boards. He puts back the ball, and I think he sets up good open shots on that kind of pick and pop.
Yeah.
Instead of rolling, he kind of finds his way out to shoot the three or a mid-range two. I think if he can get that shot rolling, we saw Levitt have a big game against Lemke the other night. Let's see what he can do here.
Yeah, he's got a nice touch, too, for a big guy, you know, out around that three-point line. Like you said, that pick and pop or screen and roll game, he could be very effective. Another guy for Snow Canyon that I might give a shout-out to is he's usually their sixth guy. That's Carter Murdoch. He's a pretty good three-point shooter for Snow Canyon. Look for him, you know, call his name out tonight, as well as, you know, I'm interested to see how Luke Hamlin plays. And, you know, because like you said, I think they have an advantage at the guard line just with the height that they have against Hurricanes guards and the quickness. So that'll be interesting. Who on the Hurricane side do you think that besides, you mentioned Caleb Jackman, is there anybody else, one of the Iloa brothers, or
yeah,
what's your thoughts there?
There's the Iloa brothers, and then there's Carter Ashby, one of the point guards for Hurricane, who's really been successful this year at kind of finding the offense flowing through him. I think if he starts off with the ball in his hand, he can get other guys open just because he puts that pressure on defense. He's not going to sit back and wait. He'll put that pressure on you. And yeah, you know, you talked about it. Carter Murdoch coming off to Snow Canyon. He has a really good shot at being our Jersey Mike sub player of the game, you know. And it feels like he's really been kind of taking that award home time after time. He's been one of the more consistent six-man throughout the region. So, again, this is a good matchup. Region, or as long as Hurricane can come out here and just play with the intensity, I think that they can. Snow Canyon could come, like you said, there could be lackluster, there could be emotions, there could be that adrenaline coming down from last week, or earlier this week. I keep saying last week, excuse me. But
it was just a couple nights ago.
I know, it's been a long week, right? But I think that Hurricane, they just need to play to their advantage here. Be the underdog, own that, and go out there and try to upset this Snow Canyon team as the region's going to finish up here soon.
Well, and they can play loose, they can play free. This is what, the seniors' last night here, senior night here at the Tigers Den, and, you know, what do they got to lose? Nothing, really. You know, you got, you know, one of the best players in the region in here. You go out, just scrap it up, like I said, kind of make it a church ball-like game, and, you know, just kind of stick around and make things uncomfortable. This is a huge game for Snow Canyon because the RPI, they're trying to get that first-round bye. If they lose here tonight, that would definitely drop them down.
Losing the game to Hurricane right now in the RPI would be detrimental. And I hate to say it because you never want to bang on one team from another in the region, but Hurricane hasn't been playing their best basketball this season, just point blank simple. And if Snow Canyon doesn't win this game right after that win against Dixie, I mean, could you imagine being the guy who has to calculate all that? I'd be very confused and conflicted, but I know it wouldn't be a good look for Snow Canyon, and they have the guys. We know that. We know they have the talent here. It's just like you said, are they going to be willing to play to the moment.
Yeah.
You know, it's a little bit of a journey coming all the way out here to Hurricane. Not to say that there's too much travel in the region, but it's about a 20-minute.
Yeah, that 20-minute bus ride, that's a long ride, right, Connor? Man, I used to, when I played, I used to have to go all the way to Moab from, up in Sanpete County. It was a 4.5, 5-hour bus ride.
Oh, yeah, we never had none of those. I was playing high school ball, and we had all the high schools within 10, 15 minutes to each other.
Nice.
But, this is another level, and I really love the high school sports out here. I mean, just looking right now, we're about 5 minutes from tip-off, and just how filled up it's getting here in this stadium. You can see that there's so much love and support from the community. I'm excited to see what the student section's got planned in store tonight, and hopefully this game is going to be a good one and we can see Hurricane make it interesting.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. That's a great point. I mean, you look around, you'd think, okay, they've only won a couple games, Hurricane that is, this year. But look at the crowd on the, on the.
You wouldn't be able to tell.
Yeah, they're here in full support, and that's great. I mean, these kids, they put a lot of heart and effort into it, and yeah, they haven't got the wins they'd hope, but it's great to see the community come out and support and seeing that. So that's really neat. And you always get great support from Snow Canyon, so the parents as well as I'm sure their student section, they'll be a little rowdy down there as well.
Oh, yeah. I like seeing the student sections get into it. That's always been one of the best parts of high school basketball. I like when they have the themes. A couple nights ago, they had the retro night or the neon nights, or they'll do the patriotic night, and it's the red, white, and blue. I love all that stuff.
All the construction gear you see them wear, or camo. Yeah, they're great. It's a lot of fun. That's the beauty of Region 10 is you get a lot of diversity in the fan bases, and it's a lot of fun.
All right, we're about 3.5 minutes or so going to get ready to bring our House of Jump starting lineups here soon. We'll probably go ahead and take another 2-minute break and come on back, get ready to do some more pregame. We might have the national anthem coming up. We'll see how long this break is. We'll go 2 and then come back from there. Does that work for you, Matt?
That sounds great.
Perfect. 2-minute break, we'll come back from there.
I created this firm with the goal of making sure we always put the clients very first. Adams Wealth Advisory is a financial planning firm that is combined with an investment firm to be able to provide the best possible outcomes for our clients.
When a client walks in the office, I want them to feel welcome. They're not just our clients, they're our friends.
We really start from the ground up, setting our goals, understanding your situation, and then building the plan to maximize that quality of life throughout retirement and ultimately to your heirs.
We've never met two clients that have exactly the same goals or the same needs, the same assets. And so we have to be very innovative for our clients.
When a client walks into the office, I want them to feel like they have a team that is full-time working for them.
The team-based approach in this business is very unusual. We're able to bring a team together of multiple professionals with different skill sets to work together to better clients' lives.
So if you've amassed wealth and you're looking for something different, something that looks at different asset classes, that incorporates real estate and private equity and hedge funds, then that's what we're here for. That's what Adams Wealth does.
The sophistication that we can implement for clients' plans is far beyond what other firms can do, whether small or large.
One of the things that makes Adams Wealth so special is the people that we have. Cormac is one of the brightest individuals that I've ever come across in his understanding of the markets. Riley just comes with just an innate ability to lead. He has the most pure heart and wants to help clients like I've never seen before.
The single most important piece of advice that I always provide is act. Whether that means saving, whether that means putting together a plan. I always believe that if you're intentional with your financial plan, things are going to work out really well for you.
All right, guys, welcome back to the Tigers Den here in Hurricane, Utah. As we've got the Hurricane Tigers taking on the Snow Canyon Warriors here in Region 10 basketball. And we just are completing our pregame show. It's Keith Curtis and Connor Connor, I forgot your last name. I wrote it. Connor Collins on the call.
Collins,
Man, that's
CC.
terrible. I'll just call you CC like Devin does.
Oh, yeah, it's easy for people. It's an easy one to remember. Got the double C's, but no worries.
Man, you can tell I'm getting old. I can't remember names and stuff.
It's okay. I'm still a new face around here.
Well, we're just about to get the national anthem here, but as we mentioned in the pregame show, there's one more week of region play, and then it will turn into the state play. And if you look at the latest RPI numbers, you've got Skyview up in Region 11 that is number 1. They're 17-2 overall. Then second is Dixie at 18-3. And then you have Ridgeline, who is 15-3, and then Snow Canyon at 15-7. But the interesting thing is that Skyview and Ridgeline play tonight.
Yeah, I was gonna.
And so, well, we're gonna go to our national anthem, and then we'll take a quick break and come right back. All right, we got done with the singing of the national anthem, and Connor, I noticed that it looks like Owen Mackey is not in the starting lineup there. It looks like they're going to rest him. Oh, they're going to start all 5 seniors tonight, so it looks like into the starting lineup for Snow Canyon will be number 21. That's Carter Murdoch. He's usually their 6th guy off the bench. But what a great opportunity for those seniors to get a chance to start.
That's a big deal there for them. Always great to celebrate that moment, accomplish getting through those 4 years, and just to kind of have that moment with your brothers that you got to play with. This is going to be a good time for them.
Yeah, that's true. You can't take away those memories, you know. Well, one other thing I wanted to mention on the RPI there, Connor, is there's a sleeper that not a lot of people know about, but Layton Christian is in our playoff bracket, and they're kind of well, they're up in Layton, obviously, so they're up north. But they play kind of an independent schedule, and I think they could be a key player come the week of the state tournament.
Yeah, I think that Layton Christian has kind of flown under the radar. We talk so much about these local teams, and, you know, shame on us almost, because we got to get more with Layton Christian. Even with them being up north, they're participating down in Region 10, and, you know, this could be like a team that you said, come RPI and come state, they could be a team you really don't want to get seeded up against.
Yeah, you really don't, because I know they got some size, they got some athletic ability, and they won the 3A tournament last year, so they've got playoff experience. So it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out here in the next couple weeks, that's for sure.
All right, we got our House of Jump starting lineups getting announced right now. Remember to text dunk to 833-644-2423 after the dunk and get 1 hour of free jump time. Again, that's text dunk to 833-644-2423 after a dunk and get 1 hour of free jump time. You think we're going to see a dunk tonight, Keith?
I think we're going to see a few of them. You bet. I'm excited.
Make sure you have that text line ready.
That's right. Everybody get ready. Starting for the Hurricane Tigers, you've got number 3, Carter Ashby at the guard. Number 12, Mason Gilbert. And number 5, R.J. Wright. He is starting tonight. Number 11, Caleb Jackman. And number 32, Owen Iloa. For your visiting Snow Canyon Warriors, you have Luke Hamlin on the guard line he's number 2. And then number 11, Bear Levitt. Number 3, Cy Meacham. Number 21, Carter Murdoch, who is starting in place of Owen Mackey. And then number 14, Will Warner. He's the dual sport athlete that just a stud in football and plays really great in basketball too. So just an all-around great athlete. He'll be a fun one to watch tonight.
Looks like we got a jersey no, one of the good old-fashioned uniform malfunctions.
Little wardrobe, yeah. They didn't like that white shirt that was underneath that Carter Ashby had on, so they're like making him take it off and take the bands off.
Yeah, I remember back when they were trying to make everybody have the matching sleeves and matching things, and then if anything's off, you got to take it off.
They kind of relaxed that for a while.
It seemed like it.
Maybe we got an old school reffing group here tonight or something. I don't know.
All right, looks like we're going to get to our Udi and Associate jump ball here. Udi and Associate, your local American Family Insurance Agency here in St. George.
Oh, a good battle there. Looks like, and R.J. Wright comes up with it, so Hurricane will get the ball first. Got Carter Ashby running the point here. He's at the top of the key. Calling out the play. Ball goes over to number 12. That's Mason Gilbert. He dribbles and works it inside to Iloa, who goes up strong, but blocked from behind.
Looked like Bear Levitt with the block there.
Yeah. Iloa was able to split him, but Levitt was able to get it from the backside. Nice block. Snow Canyon gets the ball down and work it around into the left corner there. That was over to Murdoch. Back over to Cy Meacham. Back out to Levitt. Meacham drives in, puts up a shot a little short off the front of the rim. Iloa gets the rebound over to Ashby, who brings it up to the front court.
Yeah, I want to see Hurricane kind of get the ball low now.
Pass over to right of the foul line, takes a shot a little off to the right. So both teams starting a little cold here.
Still waiting for that first bucket to go down there.
Will Warner passes off to the top there to Bear Levitt at the top of the key, about 30 feet away. Hands off to Will Warner, peeling around the screen. Holds up for about a 27-footer off the back iron, tipped around, and there's Murdoch for the rebound. Over to Cy Meacham, who passes over to Hamlin, who now gets it back to Meacham on the right side. Murdoch over to Bear Levitt, who gets it to Hamlin, who drives the middle of the key, puts it up, off the glass, scores it, and is fouled.
What a good finish there by Hamlin. Gets that lane, goes to the rack, and like you said, finishing with contact, dropping the basket in for the and one.
Loved how he went really hard to the basket, too. He got that pass, and he was made up his mind. He was going all the way in there, and as you mentioned, drew the contact, laid it off with a kiss off the glass.
Knocks down the free throw.
And
Snow Canyon got that three-point lead.
Just like that, Hamlin is the leading scorer of the ball game. Of course, he's the only scorer. Here's Wright, top of the key, over to, looks like they got that over to Gilbert, who's at the top, passes over to the right on the left wing, looking for Iloa down on the block. Pulls it back out, they reset the offense, goes over to Gilbert on the right side, goes inside, and they caught Bear Levitt reaching around, trying to deny the ball into Caleb Jackman, and they knocked it out, but they called a foul on Levitt.
Excited to see the two 11s go at it down low there tonight. Both very similar build.
And there's a pass, a nice inbound play that time by Nephi Iloa, or excuse me, that's the other brother. Sorry, that's Owen. And he gets a nice little 5-footer to fall, so we got a 3-2 ball game.
Oh, and he's got his hands in there, forcing Carter Murdoch to pick up the dribble.
Yeah, Cy Meacham on the right wing, drives down under the basket, passes back out to Hamlin, who drives down the lane, passes up over, and they go inside to Bear Levitt, who uses the left hand. Great job using his body, shielding off the defender, and gets the bucket to go and draws the foul.
Yeah, that was a good finish there. For a second, it looked like maybe he kind of got a little bit too far under the basket.
Yeah.
But with a shooter's roll, goes back in, and like you said, another and one to start the game here.
And Levitt at the foul line drains that one, so we got a 6-2 lead here with 5:38 in the first quarter for the Snow Canyon Warriors. Carter Ashby brings up the ball, passes to the right side over to Jackman, who then gets it back to Gilbert at the top. Over to the right, who on the left wing, who works it into Iloa, who goes up with the shot with the left hand. It's a little short. Rebound by Carter Murdoch, who gets it down to Cy Meacham. Hits Hamlin in the left corner, who drives into the lane, passes out, but great defense that time by RJ Ray. Goes off the referee. They get a fast break opportunity, and it's knocked out of bounds by Cy Meacham. It'll be Tiger ball underneath the basket.
Try to do a little bit too much there. Sometimes when you get that fast break, instead of looking for the extra man, you just want to go right to the rim, and if you can, draw that contact.
Yeah, good call there. Here's the pass outside to the left corner. That's a three-pointer by number 11, Caleb Jackman. It goes off the rim, but it's run down by Carter Ashby, who resets the offense. Over to Ashby in the corner, a little running floater, and he gets it.
Spicy. I like the floater from Ashby there.
Yeah, Ashby with 4 points here. Oh, no, that was Iloa that got 2. So Iloa and Ashby with 2 each for Hurricane as we got a 6-4 ball game. Here's Hamlin on the right wing over to Levitt, who gets it to Will Warner, who hits Cy Meacham curling off to the screen on the left side. Out to Will Warner, top of the key, takes a jab to it, hits a three-pointer from about 24 feet out.
What a step back there from Warner.
Boy,
Just authority on it.
That was deadly, too. He didn't even hesitate. Here's Hurricane getting the ball inside to big guy number 11. That's Caleb Jackman. And just as we talked about in Connor in the pregame show, is getting the ball inside using that height.
Exactly. That's what Hurricane needs to continue to do. We've already seen Caleb Jackman and we've seen Bear Levitt have a couple good plays each. And just like you said, using that 6'9" frame, getting up, you know that they're going to have to put their hands up to contest you. Getting the whistle, now you have a chance to make a three-point play.
Well, and the best part is he didn't hesitate. He got the ball, went right up with a shot, and then he drains the foul shot. So we're at a 9-7 ball game here with 4 minutes in the first quarter. Here's Cy Meacham, right corner, air ball. That's knocked around and brought in by Gilbert. So the Tigers will bring it up. Here's Ashby at the top of the key, just over midcourt. Passes left over to Gilbert, who is looking for Iloa down underneath, drives into the lane, reverse pivot, spins, gets it out to Iloa.
Yeah, Levitt wasn't going to have any of that there.
And they get it inside again to the big fella, Caleb Jackman, and he goes up with a shot, gets fouled, and that's 2 now. That'll be 2 on Bear Levitt, which could be a problem for Snow Canyon, as that's their biggest guy inside.
Yeah, and it looks like as Levitt's coming out, I thought maybe we'd see Mackey kind of get ready to come in, but I'm starting to think maybe they might rest him here.
Yeah,
tonight.
I think he might have the night off. But we got number 1, Robbie Christensen that came into the game, as well as number 32. That's Ryder Holt for Snow Canyon. So some substitutions here early. Here's Gilbert driving into the lane, puts up a wild shot, no good. Outlet pass to Hammond down the right side, who hits Warner just about 25 feet out. He says, okay, I'll take it. Look good.
He thought about it from 26, gave it one more step in, and just off the front of the rim there. Warner has a beautiful shot.
He really does. Here's the move by Iloa, who reverse pivots, puts it up hard off the backboard, no good, and down comes Hamlin with the rebound, who comes down court, hits number 32 in the right corner there. That is... again, Ryder Holt, who comes off the back of the iron, no good, and here comes Hurricane just across midcourt.
Good rebound there by R.J. Wright. I want to see him bring those down strong.
Carter Ashby drives right baseline, gets cut off by Meacham, has to throw a wild pass out. They work it inside to the junction to Jackman, who gets it over to Ashby on the right corner, back out to Jackman at the three-point line, over to Iloa, who's at the junction, the right junction, puts up a wild shot, almost forced it. Great defense by Holt that time. And then you get a foul on Iloa, who's just a little frustrated, got a little out of control there.
Yeah, you could tell that Hurricane wasn't getting the shot that they wanted, and at a point or another, you just kind of, like you say, force something to happen, and it doesn't always end up the right way. Something Snow Canyon that's going to have to deal with tonight that's a little bit different is the shot clock. They've been playing without it for a lot of the games this season, so now that they have the shot clock here, they're going to have to keep that tempo up. They're not just going to be able to dribble and wait for a backdoor cut to be open.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Looks like we got something on the court. There's kind of a delay in the action. I don't know. Are they calling an intentional foul? Did I miss something?
Let's see them work it out here.
Yeah, they've got number 1. That's Robbie Christensen at the foul line and nobody else. So there must have been a technical or something. I don't know if it was an elbow or maybe we just missed it. We got to give a shout out to our new camera guy tonight. He's from Hurricane. What's your name, dude? Boston from Hurricane. He's now the Fan Sports Network camera guy. He's doing a great job tonight. We'll give him a shout out. Here's the first foul shot by Meacham. That's good. So that's 10-7 for Snow Canyon. Meacham gets another one. And it's up and in and out. So 1 of 2 on the technical foul shots there for Snow Canyon.
Yeah, we must have missed it there. They called that foul on Ryder Holt. We'll see if we can try to go back later and find that, let you know what it was. But set up 2 easy free throws for Cy Meacham, and that's not the guy you want to put on the line.
Yeah, you say it was on Holt or was that on Iloa? I think it was Iloa throwing the elbow for Hurricane. That's why the
okay.
got it, yeah. Anyway, here's Warner bringing the ball up. He goes right down the lane. Nobody stops him, gets it just short on the rim. Rebound by Levitt, gets it out. And Ashby's down to the left side. And number 2, that is Kristen Tebbs, who's in the game for the first time. Over to right in the right corner. Over to Ashby down on the right baseline. Right swings the ball to the left side. Over to Tebbs. Puts up a 3 and he gets it.
Good passing here from Hurricane.
Good ball movement. He was wide open and he did not hesitate. He just put it up and drained it.
And look at that, 10-10 as we get to the final 2 minutes of the first quarter. This, I think, is where Hurricane wanted to see themselves. They said that we can play in this game, and like you said, 10-10. I think they feel confident at where things are right now.
Yeah, they should. 1:50 left here in the first quarter. That was a drive by Hamlin, and he got fouled. So he was able to pick up the foul there. So Snow Canyon inbounds the ball. They get into Meacham, who's on the right side, puts up the 3, and it's hard off the front rim. There's a battle underneath, and the ball comes out to the Tigers. That's Tebbs with the ball on the left side now. He passes over to Ashby on the right wing, who's looking inside. Gets it over to Jackman at the top of the key. Over to Tebbs on the left wing. Looking inside, number 30's checked in for the Tigers. And he gets double teamed down on the baseline. They try to get the ball back out. Carter Ashby hunts it down. That's Kalen Hughes, who's now in the game. Here's an apparent wild pass. Will Warner hunts it down.
Very good defense by Snow Canyon. They were playing all the way up in physical.
Oh, nice drive right there by Cy Meacham. Got a nice screen by Robbie Christensen. Went right down the lane, laid it off the glass for 2.
Good couple possessions there by Snow Canyon. Defense and then backing it down the other way.
Here's Tebbs on the left. Oh, Hamlin just got his hand in the caught in the cookie jar there.
Right as I praised him. It seems like I give the announcer's jinx, right?
Yep.
But still, I like the energy that Snow Canyon playing with on defense right now. They saw that Hurricane was starting to attack them down low, and you could tell that they're really starting to crowd that paint.
They are, and they're getting a little more ball pressure, too, on those entry passes, made it a little more difficult. Looks like we got a few more subs in here. Nephi Iloa in for Hurricane, and then number 10, that's the other Goobler who's in the game for Hurricane. Nephi Iloa gets the ball down underneath, and the ball gets knocked away. Good defense by Snow Canyon, and they say it went off of Snow Canyon, so it'll stay with Hurricane. But you're seeing both sides bringing in a lot of bench players here early.
Looks like they're trying to figure out possession. It looked like that was clearly off of Snow Canyon. Okay.
Yeah, it looks like there's a little discussion about it, but they made up their mind. They're going to keep it, well, maybe I don't know what they're doing. They're down talking to the scorer's table, maybe figuring out where they're going to dinner after the game or something. I don't know. Well, we'll just go over the lineup for the Tigers. You got number 1, Nephi Iloa in the game right now, as along with number 10, Goobler, number 2, Tebbs, and then number 30 is Kalen Hughes, and then R.J. Wright. R.J. Wright's the only starter in for Hurricane right now. For Snow Canyon, you have Will Warner, number 14, Cy Meacham, number 3. Then you have Robbie Christensen, number 1, number 32. That is Ryder Holt, and number 12, that's Dre Smith. So some wholesale substitutions here in the first quarter. Ball comes in from Hurricane into Goobler. He's at the top of the key, goes to the right junction to Nephi Iloa, gets it out to Wright on the right wing. Back into Iloa on the junction, passes it over to Goobler, who drives, kicks it to Wright in the right corner. He goes up with the shot, three-pointer off the mark. There's Tebbs for the rebound.
Snow Canyon not boxing out. Everybody getting caught, kind of looking up for the ball. Want to see you box out because don't want to give you really easily. I mean, the guy slipped in right between two people.
Yeah, right in between two guys there. Here's the inbound pass to Wright. He goes to Iloa, who drives down the lane, who gets tied up. Great defense by Robbie Christensen, had the hand on the ball. So that'll go, possession will go to Snow Canyon.
Calling the jump ball there. Good defense to get your hand on there. And you could tell it seems like Hurricane's just starting to force some shots up, not really looking too composed. I want to see them set something up right now. Go and have a set play design, see if you can attack it. If not, reset and try something else. Don't just keep driving to a crowded paint.
Try to get a little something, an easier bucket than what they're getting right now. Looks like Carter Murdoch's back in the game now for Snow Canyon. Ball comes into Will Warner, drives down the right baseline. Comes back out to Cy Meacham on the 3, and he puts it up, and he drains it. Cy Meacham with no hesitation. So
Cy Meacham.
Just deadly off of that right wing. They got the ball curling off a screen, and he drains it. So at the end of one, we got a 15-10 score in favor of Snow Canyon. We'll be right back in 1 minute.
Hey, it's Sheldon Demke. Check out the latest episode of What's on the Menu, a behind-the-scenes tour of local restaurants. We'll see some of their favorite dishes and get an inside look on how these dishes are prepared. Check out this week's episode at stgeorgenews.com and click the shows on the menu tab.
House of Jump is Southern Utah's only indoor trampoline park and your only place to jump, dunk, and dodge. Head on over to our house, the House of Jump.
Ace is the place with a helpful heart. See Hearst first this month for great deals on red hot buys at Hearst Ace Hardware. Make sure and get an Ace Rewards card for savings around the house, the yard, or the job site. Stop by Hearst General Store Ace Hardware, conveniently located in the heart of downtown Cedar City and St. George.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the Tigers Den here in Hurricane, Utah. At the end of one, we have Snow Canyon leading 15-10. Inbounding the ball here to start the second quarter is Iloa. That goes into Gilbert. He's at the top of the key. He goes right side to Gilbert, who fumbles the ball. There's a mad dash on the floor. Bodies on the floor. They get the ball up. Gilbert gets a three-pointer up, and it goes in and out. And there's a fight for the rebound. It bounces out. Gilbert's got it. Oh, and Will Warner picks up a cheap foul there. So a little helter-skelter.
Yeah, it looked like Gilbert might have taken a finger to the eye or something there. Shoot the ball. If you're not going to make it, they always teach you go and chase your shot.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Go
and
get
I
that
think
thing.
That's exactly what he did there. He followed his shot, got the rebound, gets rewarded by the foul, keeps possession of the ball.
Well, Hurricane inbounds the ball. It goes over to Carter Ashby. It goes left wing to Gooblers, guarded by Hamlin, who dribbles, looks inside, trying to get the ball into the big fella. Jackman goes back to Goobler on the left side. Oh, they're going to catch Hamlin just holding on a little bit. Boy, that's a little ticky-tacky there.
Yeah, and we've seen already a couple calls tonight. I mean, we started the game off with taking off the undershirt because of the wardrobe malfunction. So these refs aren't letting too much slide tonight.
Yeah, I was going to say, you usually Those little things, they let those things go. Yeah, it looks like Snow Canyon's already in the bonus for the half with 7 fouls to only 4 for Hurricane. Gubler at the line hits the first one.
Knocks down the first of the one-on-ones.
But you know, Connor, this is exactly what we thought needed to happen, is that Hurricane needed to make it kind of an ugly, rough and tumble game, and that's exactly what they're doing. As he hits the second one, it's 15-12.
Yeah, we talked about during the break here that it looks like Snow Canyon's making the decision to probably rest Owen Mackey tonight, let his ankle get healed up before we get into state play. This right now is the perfect opportunity for Hurricane to try to notch that first region win.
Yeah, I agree. Here is Will Warner drives inside, kicks it out, gets the ball back, hits a little junction jumper. It's off the mark, rebounded by Hurricane. Ashby brings it down, and he circles around, gets it over to Tebbs, who makes a drive, and they got another hand-checking foul on number 12. That'll be Dre Smith for Snow Canyon, so that'll put Tebbs at the line for 1-1.
As long as that Snow Canyon is going to keep reaching, I mean, there's no reason Hurricane should go away from this. Keep attacking the basket. When you have them in the bonus, there's a much higher chance of them fouling.
Yeah, I agree. You got the foul count in your favor, so you might as well try to draw what you can. And here's Tebbs at the line. It's off the mark. And rebounded by Snow Canyon. Will Warner will bring the ball up. Warner gets it over to Hamlin on the left wing. Gets it, who switches the Holt back over to Warner on the right wing. Cy Meacham coming off the screen by Holt on the right wing. Dribbles down to the baseline, gets it knocked out of bounds by Tebbs, and it'll retain Snow Canyon ball. RJ Wright, number 5, checks in for Tebbs for the Hurricane Tigers.
Now this comes back to me talking about in the pregame, you know, Snow Canyon, set up a play, have something that you can go to here. Don't just run around and look for an open shot.
Here's Cy Meacham, he tries to get in there, but he looked like it might have been partially blocked. Was an air ball. So here comes Hurricane down with a chance, one possession game here. Carter Ashby is at just crossing midcourt there, gets it over to Jackman, who on the right wing, gets it over to Gubler at the top of the key. Hits right, curling around, but there's a moving screen on number 33. That's Houston Homer for Hurricane, and that'll turn the ball over to Snow Canyon.
Looks like we're going to have Bear Levitt check back in here. Checking in for Holt.
Oh, it looks like Carter Murdoch inbounds the ball to Will Warner, who dribbles it up midcourt over to Hamlin, left on the right side, gets it over to Murdoch, top of the key down to Cy Meacham. Warner gets the ball back, gets the ball to Murdoch, who pops for a 3 at the top of the key, and it's good. What a featherly stroke he's got. Murdoch just comes in, cool as a cucumber, and drains it.
Yeah, good 3 there by Murdoch, and now we're starting to see a little bit of, oh.
Got an over and back. Yeah, they've got a mix-up on the inbounds there, and so Hurricane turns the ball over. I'm telling you, I think Murdoch has the best hair in the region.
It definitely caught Coach off guard there. He's a little upset here for Hurricane pulling his guys out. And just a mental lapse. You know, we talked about it. This is a team where they're obviously at an advantage. You can go ahead and try to take advantage of them not playing with Owen Mackey and them coming off of a super high win. You know, use the emotions to your advantage, but you can't let silly mistakes like that affect you if you're Hurricane.
Yeah, absolutely. Snow Canyon got up a quick shot. It was no good. Hurricane now got the rebound, is working their offense. It's Carter Ashby on the right wing. He dribbles in, tries to get into Jackman, who's got the ball knocked away. Murdoch comes up with it. He dribbles down onto the left block, gets it back out to, it looks like, to the big fella there. Jackman gets it over to Will Warner, who's now at Cy Meacham at the top of the key. Over to Hamlin, who drives right down the middle, passes over to the big guy, lays it up with the left hand and in. Beautiful drive by Hamlin.
Yes, beautiful feed. Hamlin gets to the basket. They start to crash onto him, and wide open. Levitt just squaring off his man. Easy pass off for the assist and score.
Well, and he hit him in the right spot, too. It was right in the hands. He didn't have to put the ball down. Just a beautifully designed play and heady play by Hamlin. So we'll take a quick break. 20-12. Snow Canyon leading here with 5:07 left in the second quarter. We'll be back right after this.
Region 10 Sports is brought to you by Nets on Fire, the premier training and event facility in Southern Utah. High-level individual and group training catered to your athlete, plus the best camps, clinics, tournaments, and showcases in the West. Visit netsonfire.org.
Fabulous Freddy's is the locals' choice for a full-service car wash. It's fast. Have your car washed in just 20 minutes or less. Fabulous Freddy's always keeps it clean inside and out with 2 Southern Utah locations as well as in Vegas, Lehigh, and Sandy.
We are Utah's financial outfitter, and we're here when it's time for your business to climb higher. Cass Valley Bank, mountains await. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
All right, welcome back to the Tigers Den, and here in Hurricane, Utah. We've got Snow Canyon leading the Hurricane Tigers 20-12 with 5:05 here in the second quarter. Carter Ashby dribbles the ball up court, gets it over to number 12, Gilbert, who throws it away, and now it's gone back court, so that'll be another turnover. You can see that Snow Canyon defense, the pressure on those entry passes are really starting to take effect.
Yeah, the physical defense from Snow Canyon, and then just mental lapses here for Hurricane. You know, you have the ball in your hand, you just got to bring it in. You don't want to look away from the ball before you have it.
Here's Warner, who gets it over to Hamlin, who drives inside, gets it back out to Warner for a three. It's short. Rebound by Ashby, but he's tied up that time by Carter Murdoch, and it looks like we're going to have a jump ball, so that'll be Snow Canyon ball. So
Yeah.
Great job by Murdoch just tying him up.
Yeah, Carter Murdoch getting us one of our UD Associate jump balls here. Contact UD Associates for any of your Southern Utah needs.
Oh, there's a moving screen that time. Oh, they got, I think it's on Hamlin. He was moving a little bit. I don't know. They're
not playing tonight here, Keith. These refs are calling just about everything.
That was a little ticky. I think that's his second or third. So Hamlin's going to have to come out. That brings in number 22 for Snow Canyon. And I saw, oh, that's Trey Kelch.
Yeah, Trey Kelch, you know, one of the guys who we've seen get a few minutes here throughout the season. But Snow Canyon's really starting now to reach into their bag of players.
There's a steal by Warner, who gets it down to Couch, passes over back to Warner, goes down the left side of the lane, reverse pivots, kicks it out to Meacham, who's at the top of the key now, kicks it over to Warner on the left side. And then they get a pick at the top of the key there, gets it to Meacham, gets another pick, and Ashby's trailing him, drives inside, kicks it out to the corner to Murdoch. The lefty just short off the rim. Big rebound by Carter Ashby, down to the big fella, number 11, hard off the glass, but followed up by number 30, that's Kalen Hughes, and he's fouled.
Yeah, I got to give Carter Ashby the credit for getting that rebound there. One of the shortest guys on the court, no doubt, and just puts one arm up, brings it down, and tries to make the pass at the end, and as you see, just a little bit off the glass, but still gets the foul.
Hughes puts the free throw up, and that's good, so that cuts the lead to 20-13. Hughes had a nice JV game. I watched a little bit of that coming in, and that's the Tigers almost upset the JV squad, but Snow Canyon pulled away there at the end. The second one's hard off the back of the rim.
Good rebound by Will Warner to extend over a couple guys there.
Warner goes down to the right side. He hits Holt, who then goes to nice, beautiful backdoor cut by Cy Meacham. There's that UCLA cut right there. We talked about they did their 5-out offense, and he got a nice, easy bounce pass. Beautiful pass by Carter Murdoch.
And you can see it looks like Snow Canyon starting to go back to kind of what you said earlier, Keith, that they play a little bit of the small ball, and that forces you to bring all your big men out, and that gives you those backdoor cuts.
Yeah, it sure does. Hurricane this time gets it inside to Caleb Jackman, who got pushed from behind by Robbie Christensen, who, you know, we got to give a shout out to Robbie. He's got the best mustache, I think, in Region 10.
I can't argue with you there.
Man,
I couldn't grow that, you know. In my senior year, I was trying to get the beard that I have now.
Yeah?
The mustache never came in for me. I had to wait till college, and trust me, it came with the ups and downs.
I know, I was nowhere near it, so I just think it's impressive. Looks like we got the first one up and in by Jackman. He's set and ready for the second. It's up and good, so he picks up 2 there to cut the lead to 7, 22-15, 3:23 here in the second quarter. Warner comes up court, giving the old mixer motion. Here's over to Murdoch down the left baseline, who pulls up, gets it over to Christensen, who throws the ball away. Good hustle by the Hurricane Tigers. but it's picked up by Snow Canyon. Over to Cy Meacham in the right corner. Back out to Holt, who puts up a three, hard off the back. And a nice rebound by number 30, Kalen Hughes.
Yeah, RJ Wright tried to save that ball, throw it back in, but he does it as he's diving out of bounds and just ended up throwing it right back to the Snow Canyon Warriors
and
there.
here's the wing pass. It's picked up by Meacham. He goes down. He's fouled hard. And he'll go to the line for two. So
hard foul there. Surprised they didn't almost call a flagrant. I mean, it looked like he was starting to fall down on him pretty hard.
Yeah, that was a pretty hard foul. But they didn't call it, so it looks like that's Dawson Daly, number 10. So we got a couple different rosters here for Hurricane. The first foul shot by Meacham is up and no good, so he'll get a second one here. Gets the ball. Hit a couple of clutch foul shots the other night against Dixie. The second one is up and good. So with 2:40 here in the second quarter, we got a 23-15 lead for Snow Canyon. Here comes Hurricane down with the ball. Goes into the right corner there is Gubler, who dribbles out to the left wing, gets over to RJ Wright, and it's knocked out of his hands, but it went off his fingertips. Great defense by Will Warner.
Yeah, RJ Wright looking at the ref like, oh, you sure? But I think he's got the right call there. Will Warner has been playing some very impressive defense tonight for the Warriors.
Well, it always seems like his hands are in the passing lanes all the time. Now we got a stoppage of play. The buzzer went off, but the ball had already been inbounded, so not sure why they stopped play. They should have just let it continued on.
Yeah, the ref crew tonight having a few personal conversations throughout the game, it seems like.
Yeah, looks like Coach Meacham over there. Just kind of, hey, don't do that while the game's going.
Looks like we're getting some substitutes and stuff just situated here.
Yeah, it looks like Ryder Holt will come in for Robbie Christensen. As I mentioned, number 22, Trey Couch is in for Snow Canyon. He inbounds it to Will Warner, who comes across the half-court line, goes over to Couch on the right wing, gives it back to Warner, cuts to the basket, lays it up and in. Beautiful give and go.
Warner just doing it on both sides of the ball tonight. We saw him get the stop on defense, gets his hand in there, and then on the other end, they set up the play with a good drive and just going up and under.
There's Ashby, who goes left wing over to right, who works it inside to number 11, Jackman, who goes up with a shot and scores.
That was an impressive shot there by Jackman. I like that, using a little bit of the mid-range fader there.
25-17 with 1:50 here in the first half. There's pressure put on by Iloa on Will Warner at the top of the key, who passes over to Cy Meacham, who directs a little traffic here, swinging Murdoch over to the left corner now. Warner goes down, pops back out on the right wing, gets the screen, goes down the lane, kicks it out to Murdoch, who fakes the shot. Got 7 on the shot clock. Murdoch drives down the lane, kicks it out to 32. That's Ryder Holt, who gets it to Meacham, who puts up the shot as the clock goes off. And Hurricane comes up with the rebound.
Yeah, that was that shot clock we talked about there, Keith. You know, a new element here for Snow Canyon that they don't always get to see, and came into play there as they had to force a shot.
Here's Ashby dribbling down the right side. There's a nice steal by Holt as he comes down the left baseline. Kicks it out to Murdoch, who gets it over to Will Warner, who kind of resets the offense now. He's guarded by RJ Wright. Kicks it over to Meacham. There's good defense by Gubler there. Meacham hunts the ball down, dribbles inside, loses it, and there's a mad scramble underneath there.
Oh.
But Hurricane comes up with it.
And it looked like Aloha might have just accidentally stomped out his teammate right in the nether region there.
Yeah, that's
He's feeling a little shaken up after that one. Said, oh, come on, man. We were both on the ground.
That was one area where Gilbert's going, really? Come on, knee fight. But then Carter Ashby was driving down the ball and was fouled by number 22. That's Trey Couch, and so he gets a couple of foul shots.
Yeah, Couch has been impressive here as he subbed in. just kind of playing some good hustle minutes. We saw him get a couple good steals there, playing just kind of that, like we talked about, the pressure on top of the guards there. We're gonna have quite a group of guys to pick through tonight when we make our Jersey Sub Player of the Game.
That's true, we are. A lot of guys to choose from. Here's a foul shot by Ashby, who cuts it to 25-18 now with 30 seconds left. Warner comes across half court, directing traffic here. Little confusion on the Snow Canyon setup here. RJ Ray hanging with Warner, drives in, kicks it back out, kicks it over to Holt, who then gets it over to Drew Smith. And Cy Meacham now, who's at the top, trying to get it to Will Warner, but RJ Wright really dogging him, trying to keep him. So we got 5 seconds left on the shot. Here's Warner with a three, misses it. Rebound by Murdoch, who's in the key, puts it up and scores this time.
Wow.
What hustle by Murdoch to get inside of 2 Hurricane Tigers and to get that ball off in time. So going into halftime, you have Snow Canyon with 27-18 lead over the Hurricane Tigers. We'll take a 2-minute break and we'll be right back.
Bo Bradshaw, owner of Bo's Auto Parts. I want to watch the game as well, so I'll make this quick. When you come into Bo's Auto Parts, our store mission is simple. Supply our customers with the best auto parts and the best customer service we can provide. Come on by and see if we can deliver.
As a local business owner, it's important to get the word out about your business. More people equals more revenue for you. Get your business in front of over 160,000 people in southern Utah each week with St. George News. Contact St. George News today.
First Ace Hardware is conveniently located in St. George on the corner of Bluff Street and St. George Boulevard with 30,000 square feet of lawn and garden, paint, tools, fabrics, sporting goods, and the most complete nut and bolt section in town. First General Store, the Big Ace store on Bluff and on Main in Cedar City.
Welcome back to the Tigers Den here in Hurricane. We just are at halftime here with Snow Canyon leading 27-18 over the Hurricane Tigers. We are being entertained by the mini cheerleaders here in the Hurricane area. And it's been a busy day here on the Fan Sports Network. We've had a little bit of wrestling. We've had basketball. And
we're out. We got the triple header tonight, you know.
Oh, that's right.
We got Desert Hills and Dixie, Snow Canyon, Hurricane where we're at. And then we have, it was Cedar and Crimson, I believe it was. So we got the triple header going tonight. A lot of coverage going out. But yeah, welcome back to our Rally Time halftime show. Rally Stop reminds you that after cheering on your favorite team, there's no better place to refuel than Rally Stop. So come on in and grab some gas, your favorite soda, or something to eat. They have all your post-game celebration needs.
Yeah, Connor, I was going to tell you, the other thing we're covering is the swimming.
Yes.
Is going on right now. I know we got a couple of reporters up there doing that as well. So, you know, we're at that time of year where there's just a lot going on. We're moving into the winter sports and into the spring sports. So
glad we have a big team so we can kind of get a bunch of us out as far as we can. But yeah, to take it back to this game here, you know, going into the half, Snow Canyon up 27-18 over the Hurricane Tigers. No Owen Mackey tonight, it looks like. They've had their chances to supplement. It seems like he's not going to go. I'm sure it's probably just a precautionary thing, healthy scratch. But I will tell you what, the Snow Canyon Warriors have not seemed to skip a beat. They have been playing some nice basketball, mostly on the defensive end tonight. I've been very impressed with how they played on defense.
Yeah, it seemed like that first 5 minutes they were not as intense, and I think Coach Meacham got after them. And you really saw it ratchet up, and that's when the turnovers started happening. We've seen some really nice sets by Snow Canyon, getting some easy backdoor looks, some layups in the lane, and, you know, just some good basketball being played by Snow Canyon right now.
I think for Snow Canyon, one of the big things they have to continue here to do is not just play good defense, but also try to come back on the other end and set up the right shot. We've seen a few times where the shot clock has become an issue that they say, oh no, we're kind of running out of time. Even right here as we finished up the quarter, there was a little bit of that shot clock, game clock kind of going at each other. Just want to see Snow Canyon set up a play, have a direct guy they want to get it to, and go from there.
Well, and they get used to, okay, they run their offense, then if it breaks down, you get it to Mackey and just let him take over, right? So they should struggle with that a little bit, but they're starting to see Will Warner and Cy Meacham and you know, Hamlin take control of that and really make some nice basketball plays off of it. And like you said, the defense has really been what I've been impressed with. The hands in the passing lanes, pressure on the, you know, a guy trying to make the pass. It's really caused some issues. So
yeah,
really seen that pick up.
We look at our Morgan Pest Control defensive play of the game, and I wonder, you know, we've had a few different ones. We've had the Bear Levitt block that was really big. We've had even Caden Jackman on the other end had a very nice block. But then I almost want to say just kind of our defensive play should be defensive play style for Snow Canyon. The way they've just notched up, like you said, that physicality, the intensity, it seems to be giving Hurricane a lot of fits. And if they do this into the second half, I think they got a good chance at sealing this one up.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. They've just got a little bit bigger guards than what Hurricane does, and by them putting that additional pressure on, it's just made life getting the ball inside to the big guy, because they did a nice job early in the game getting the ball inside. Hurricane did, but unfortunately, with that pressure, they've had a lot of turnovers that have come with it.
We're looking for our Hearst Ace player of the game. Ace is a place. Visit Hearst for a variety of products and at great prices. 2 locations out here in St. George. The Big Ace store on the corner of the Boulevard, and Bluff, and the main one in Cedar City. Looking at our players right now, there's probably been 2 or 3 guys that are sticking out. I think the one, though, who's just been above all the rest has been Will Warner. I think he's really taken over this game for Snow Canyon. You can tell that Owen Mackey's not the number 1 option because he's not playing.
Yeah.
So he stepped into that role, and I think he's doing a very sufficient job at filling it.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. You can kind of see he's taking that leadership mantle over and trying to direct traffic where he wants to get people going. And we've seen him run some nice sets where Meacham's been able to get a screen and hit a big 3. We've seen Hamlin draw the lane, go into the lane, draw some contact, lay it off the glass nicely, but then get inside and then get a nice little touch pass off. So we're seeing the guard play really pick up for Snow Canyon and kind of lead them through that tail end of that second quarter.
Yeah, another award we're looking here to get in our second half is our Jersey Mike sub of the game. Jersey Mike sub. Stop by the Jersey Mikes and get in Mike's way. Few different guys. Carter Murdoch actually ended up starting tonight, and he's been one of our main six-man, but a lot of other options. I know we can look at number 22 for Snow Canyon. Kelch has been coming off the bench. He played some nice minutes. Parker Holt there for them, number 32.
Yeah.
And then if you look over for Hurricane, I would say, is it fair to say Nephi Iloa coming off the bench? He didn't technically start, but he always gets a lot of minutes. But I think he's came in and he's kind of given them a little bit of juice, a little bit of presence. His brothers ended up starting, so I say Nephi as our sub. And either way you go, I think that there's been a lot of all-around production. No one player other than, like I think we mentioned, Will Warner, has really set themselves apart from everybody else here tonight.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if Snow Canyon continues to pull away here. You know, we'll probably see him empty the bench out and get some of those younger guys some minutes because, you know, that varsity time is so valuable for those younger guys, especially next year when they're coming up through the program. It really is valuable. So I'm sure we'll get massive wholesale subs coming in, but it'll be interesting to see. I'm curious I'd like to see a little more off of the Hurricane bench. We're not getting much out of them. It's mainly just their starters. And
we saw Houston Homer and Kalen Hughes come in and try to provide a little bit of energy, but Coach seemed to get frustrated because both these guys were just making those small mental lapses. We saw Houston Homer run all the way down the court, and Coach saying, Homer, you got to inbound the ball. So he's running back to inbound the ball, and then the ball gets passed into him, so he just takes it right back out of bounds. You got to fix those mental mistakes, and I'm sure that's what Coach is looking at. He wants to bring those guys in off the bench, but when you're in a game that's less than a 10-point game, you want them to have success. You want to feel comfortable and confident that you can put those guys in the game.
Yeah, those are big plays that, like you said, from a coach standpoint, they're going, I got to trust them.
Exactly.
The one kid, I thought was great was seeing the Tebbs kid come in for Hurricane. He came in and hit a big three, off the bench, cold like that. He played in the JV game, but just a young sophomore, seeing him come in and hit a big shot like that was good to see.
Yeah, Cheston Tebbs has played a lot of good minutes here tonight. I think between him and Carter Ashby, you could tell the two smaller point guards going back and forth. Very good battle. But yeah, I think that's going to go ahead and wrap up our Rally Stop halftime show here. We got a few minutes as we're wrapping up. We'll go ahead and take a 2-minute break. And when we come back, we're going to resume the second half here of Snow Canyon at Hurricane.
It's Luke with Udine Associates at American Family Insurance. At Udine Associates, we love insurance so you don't have to. With a quick call, we can get you an instant quote with the right coverages. My team of licensed agents are ready to help you with better insurance from American Family. Give us a call at 435-251-9102.
This cheesesteak is so freshly grilled, you can still hear it sizzling.
I can hear it too.
Me too.
Actually, it's the
Oh, cheesesteak?
grill.
Grilled right in front of you. It's a Jersey Mike's thing.
Check out this week's edition of TGIF on stgeorgenews.com. TGIF is your weekend adventure guide to all the fun and exciting things going on in Southern Utah this weekend. Find this week's edition at stgeorgenews.com and click the shows on the menu tab. Have a blast this weekend.
House of Jump is Southern Utah's only indoor trampoline park and your only place to jump, dunk, and dodge. Head on over to our house, the House of Jump.
All right, welcome back to Hurricane as we reaching the end of halftime with Snow Canyon leading 27-18. We've got about 1 minute left here, and we'll get rolling into the second half. But Connor, how do you see the second half playing out? What's the key factors for Hurricane as they try to claw their way back into this?
Well, if I'm looking at Hurricane, I think we got to go back to what was working for us initially. We were setting up our big man in the post, and it wasn't just driving and attacking. It was setting them up, waiting till they got in the post, got their, when you get in, you want to drop your anchor a little bit. You can't just be pushed around, especially between these two guys. We're seeing they're a little bit lighter. You got to be able to have your anchor set. Once they get the ball with their anchor set, let them go to work against each other and let that game play itself out.
Yeah, we saw that a couple times where Jackman got it on the block in a good spot, went right up with it, and scored easy buckets.
And then we also saw him hit that little fadeaway too, where he did the mid-range fade. I think, like you said, get him in his spot, get him the ball, and let him create from there. I think he can be a very dynamic player for Hurricane. He just needs to work a little bit on his fundamentals, and they need to work a little bit on the trust.
For Snow Canyon, do you just say, hey, continue what we're doing? Let's get some good screens, get some good back cuts, just move the ball around?
If I'm Coach Meacham, I'm looking at my guys and I'm saying, we know what the goal is here. We got to go in and we just got to play smart, fundamental basketball, Don't go out there and let the moment get too big. Don't start doing the ticky-tacky fouls. We're seeing the refs call it. Just go out there, do your job.
Well, we'll start the second half here as Hurricane inbounds the ball. It looks like Kalen Hughes, number 30, starting in the second half for Hurricane. Gets the ball into Carter Ashby, who then gets it over to R.J. Wright, and it goes off of Ashby's hands and out of bounds. So just like that, Snow Canyon will get the ball back. Snow Canyon starting their original 5 that they did earlier tonight. Will Warner gets the ball over to Murdoch, who's at the top of the key, passes over to Meacham, who looks right, goes left, puts up a three-pointer, deep one, no good. Rebound over to Hurricane. Out to Carter Ashby, who comes across half court, is getting instructions from the coach on what he wants to do. Ashby gets the screen from the big fella, Jackman, who gets it over to Gilbert, who puts up a 3, and it's no good. Comes down to Snow Canyon. Hamlin brings it down quickly. Gets it over to the big fella for 3, and he drains it. Bear Levitt got a nice-looking stroke from out on the three-point range.
Yeah, we talked about that a little bit earlier. Bear Levitt having that good shot, being able to kind of play the pick and pop. There, he didn't even set the screen, just ran down the court in transition and stayed at the top of the line. Give him the space, and he'll take the shot.
Hurricane gets it inside, or they worked it in there. Boy, a little ticky-tack foul that time on Levitt. So, boy, they continue to call it real close. That's his third on Levitt, so.
He'll have to be careful here. He doesn't want to foul out because that could be a very big loss for Snow Canyon in this game.
Here's the inbounds pass to the big fella, Jackman, who misses, who goes up, he gets the rebound, but knocks it out of bounds, so it'll be Snow Canyon ball.
Got to finish those shots if you want to win these games. Can't miss the easy layups there under the basket.
Yeah, those little 3-4 footer, you got to be able to hit those, especially at 6'9", right?
Yeah, it's a little harder than it looks. I'll give him that. I've been there. Sometimes you put a little too much on it.
Here's Murdoch. Yeah, driving down the lane, as you mentioned. Hughes with the block from behind. We might have just seen our Morgan Pest Control defensive play of the game there.
Yeah, I think that was a big one. If they can go ahead and get this possession back and keep this game from getting out of hand.
Here's Warner, gets it over to Meacham at the right side. Warner goes left wing, over, reverses pivot, back to the foul line, gets it out to Meacham, who's about 30 feet out, drives in, kicks it out to Murdoch, who gets it out. Good hands by R.J. Wright that time. And they're saying over and back, even though it was deflected by Hurricane. Interesting.
Yeah, and then it looks like Will Warner gets the call explained to him there. He feels all right with the ref, gives him the thumbs up.
Huh. The ref must have thought Warner touched it before Wright, I guess, or something, before it went over. I don't know. But here's Ashby, who fakes right, goes left, gets it back out to Jackman, over to Gilbert, who then swings it back to Ashby, and it's anticipated great by Will Warner, brings it down top of the key, puts up the 3, and it's good.
What can't he do tonight? Like we said, doing it on both ends. easily making the case for our Hearst player of the game.
Well, and he could have complained about that backcourt call, but he didn't, and he just comes right down, drains a 3 just like that, and winds the lead to 15. We got a timeout by Hurricane. We'll take a 1-minute break and be right back.
First Ace Hardware is conveniently located in St. George on the corner of Bluff Street and St. George Boulevard with 30,000 square feet of lawn and garden, paint, tools, fabrics, sporting goods, and the most complete nut and bolt section in town. Hearst General Store, the Big Ace store on Bluff and on Main in Cedar City.
Create your own relaxing, comfortable space. Boulevard Home offers the guaranteed best prices on furniture, appliances, mattresses, and more. And buy with no interest financing. Shop Boulevard Home, because home is who we are.
We are Utah's financial outfitter, and we're here when it's time for your business to climb higher. Cache Valley Bank, mountains await. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
All right, we're back here in the third quarter of the Hurricane Tigers versus the Snow Canyon Warriors here in Hurricane, Utah. Just a Region 10 score update. We just heard that Dixie is up 36-28 over Desert Hills. As we get more scores throughout the night, we'll pass those along to you. Here comes Hurricane. Carter Ashby dribbling up the right side, circles back to the left. Got a 5-second call, so great job by Cy Meacham, just kind of hanging on his hip pocket to get that 5-second call.
Yeah, Carter Ashby tried to set up the offense there and just held on a little bit too long. And again, this is one of those aspects of the game. You can't just sit around and wait for something to happen. You got to pass that ball. You got to set plays up.
Hurricane brings in 3 subs now. Nephi Oloa, number 2, Preston Tebbs, and number 10, Dawson Daly. Here's Will Warner, drives down the lane, passes it over to number 1, Robbie Christensen. Puts it out to Warner, who gets it back, but they say he stepped on the baseline.
Interesting decision to try to drive there unless he was thinking dunk, because I don't know, the way he's been shooting tonight, I thought he was going to pull that.
Yeah. Warner got the hops to get up there and put it down?
I think we were about to find out.
Here's Iloa at the top of the key for Hurricane. He passes over to RJ Wright on the right wing, dribbles to the top of the key, gets it out to Dawson, who puts up the 3, deep 3. It's rebounded by Hamlin, and he brings it down the right side, gets a screen, goes down to the right corner.
Hamlin.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, Hamlin's doing a very good job tonight at doing the assists, the rebounds, all the small things that seem to kind of go unnoticed sometimes in that extra pass. I really like the way that Hamlin's been playing tonight for Snow Canyon.
Yeah, it's very fundamentally sound. Here's a 3 by Meacham on the left wing, and it hit the rim and bounces out of bounds. So good defense that time by the Tigers, forcing a deep 3.
It's been a couple minutes here now without a score for Hurricane. They're going to want to try to get something rolling pretty soon before this game gets a little out of hand.
Here's Tebbs at the right wing, gets it over to Wright, who does a cross-court pass over to Dawson, who airballs it, goes right into Snow Canyon hand to Hamlin, who gets down to Will Warner, who sizes him up and goes right at the bucket and lays it in.
What a finish there, too. It looked like Caden Jackman tried to go up and get the pin on the backboard and just not fast enough. Good finish by Warner.
Yeah, he saw Tebbs was guarding him. He says, I'm going to elevate right over the top of him, and did just that. Here's Nephi Iola, who gets it out to the right corner to Tebbs, who puts up a 3-pointer, no good, and down comes Hamlin with the ball, who drives down the right side, stops. Nice little pass there for Christensen, who missed a little bunny, but good job by Snow Canyon to get the ball back. And then Hurricane gets a deflection on the pass, and that's Nephi Iola, who passes it off to the big fellow Jackman, but he has too many steps.
Yeah, so I don't think Jackman was expecting that pass there. I think Iola was going to the rack hard, and he thought he was going to go ahead and finish that and got caught with the feet stumbling.
So in for Snow Canyon now will be Ryder Holt. He comes in for Robbie Christensen. Ball's inbounded to Hamlin. There's pressure put on by Hurricane, a full court. Here's Cy Meacham over to Will Warner, drives in, lays it up off the front of the rim, but he's fouled by R.J. Wright.
And that's Connor Roosh coming in there for Caleb Jackman. Gets a foul right as he comes in.
Well, he wanted to get in the scorebook.
Get a little bit excited coming off the bench there.
Warner puts it up and in for the first one there.
And this now is where Hurricane really needs to kind of lock in. You played a good couple quarters, but you don't want to come out in this third quarter and just let Snow Canyon run away with the game.
Warner hits the second foul shot, and just like that, it's 37-18, a 19-point lead. Ball's on the right wing to Tebbs, who gets it to Roosh at the top of the key. Back to Tebbs on the right wing. Tebbs takes the dribble over to Wright on the right baseline. Cross court over there to Dawson, who loses control of it. Great defense by Warner, and it goes off Warner's leg out of bounds. But what great defense by cutting off the baseline.
Yeah, and what that does there is it doesn't reset the shot clock. That keeps it at 13 seconds. So that's another dynamic of the defense that's being played here.
Got number 24 now for Hurricane. R.J. Hurst checks into the game. He gets the ball from the left wing and puts up a three, no good. And Cy Meacham runs down the rebound, passes down to the big guy, Ryder Holt, who stops, and he gets it back out to Meacham, who gets it over to Warner. Warner says, let's set this baby up.
There you go. That's what we wanted to see here coming into the second half. Setting up an offensive play, getting your guys moving around.
Warner gets the ball over to number 12. That's Drew Smith, who gets it to Meacham, drives left baseline, and ball's knocked out of bounds by Nephi Iola for Hurricane.
That was a nice play they had set up there. Cy Meacham on the backdoor cut for a second. It looked like it was almost developed, but Iola gets his hand in there just to kind of pause up the progress.
Warner gets the ball into Murdoch, who gets it over to Smith. Now to the left wing to Will Warner, who drives right down the middle, goes right at Nephi Iola, and he swats it out.
Oh man, we thought our defensive play of the game, but that might be our defensive play of our Morgan Pest Control defensive play of the game. Excuse me.
I like
the way he swat that one right out of bounds.
Yeah, I like the way how Warner aggressively went to the bucket, but Iola from out of nowhere. Here's the pass into Meacham, puts up the three to beat the shot clock. Iola gets the rebound, passes up to the Tebbs, who goes back to Iola, who drops the ball.
Looks like for a second they tried to set the lob up there for Nephi.
Yeah. Here's Warner getting down to Cy Meacham. Back to Warner at the top of the key. He's directing traffic now. They do a little motion with Cy Meacham. Gets a screen this time by Bateman, who drives in on the right side, lays it off the glass. No good. It's knocked out of bounds by Hurricane. It'll be Snow Canyon ball. So with 1:49 left, it's 37-18 for Hurricane. Unfortunately, they haven't scored but 3 points here in the third quarter.
Yeah, it's been one of those droughts where just bad shot selection and then things not falling.
There's Smith over to Will Warner, who gets the ball now to Levitt. Back to Smith. Warner gets it on the right wing, fakes. Does a nice little dump-off pass to number 32, Ryder Holt, who goes up strong and draws the foul. That was great fake with the pass. Great job by Warner to get it inside, and a nice little 2-foot shot.
They're only calling that the second team foul of the half, but I swear it feels like it might have been the third or fourth the way it's been going. Seems like there's been a pause in play every couple seconds here between these two teams right now.
Holt is at the line for two. The first one is up and good. Makes the score 38-18. Here comes Hamlin and Murdoch back into the game. And Smith will sit down. As Holt puts up the second one, and it's good. So 39-18 for Snow Canyon. 1:26 here in the third quarter. Here's Tebbs over to Dawson, who cross-courts it back to Tebbs. Almost stolen. Tebbs drives down right baseline, goes up. It's blocked from behind. Again, Holt, good defense as they try to go left baseline. Here's Nephi Iola out to Tebbs in the right corner for three, and he got it.
That was a good shot there by Tebbs. Good find by Nephi with the drive.
Yeah, good
I
job
think
of-
they need to do that a little bit more for Hurricane.
A little
Put the
drawn
pressure
kick.
on them.
Yeah, absolutely. Tebbs just let it fly, too. Glad to see him just, without thinking, put it up.
Approaching under a minute here. End of the third. 39-21.
Murdoch with a beautiful backdoor pass. Boy, that was to Levitt, who he went up for the dunk. Looked like he got bumped, but they didn't call a foul. Here comes Hurricane down, and another three-pointer up by number 21. That is Connor Roush, and the ball goes off the rim and out of bounds. So ball to Snow Canyon.
Yeah, we might have to look at that one back. I think Levitt might have had a good old-fashioned rim stuff there when you get up and you're just a little bit too short on it. It's like I just got the back iron.
You hate it when the rim gets a hold of you. Here's Will Warner going down to the left side of the court, out left wing to Levitt.
They got the last shot here.
Got
if
16,
they want it.
Yeah, 15 seconds now. Levitt drives left baseline, passes to Warner cutting down, and we have a foul. Looks like they're going to get this. Could be on Nephi, Iola, or onto Dawson Daly. That's Daly, yes, on the foul. So Snow Canyon will get the ball on the left baseline under the basket. Gets the ball into Levitt, back to Warner, who goes back to the top. Dribbling to the left wing, goes inside with the left hand, passes out to Murdoch, but he's fouled on the pass. Great job by Will Warner, just getting separation and finding the open guy.
Yeah, and you can tell that Hurricane right now is getting a little bit frustrated as they're starting to throw their body into these.
Well, they got 1 second left, and Levitt tried to get the ball in, but good defense by the Hurricane Tigers, and we'll close out the third quarter with the score of 39-21 for the Snow Canyon Warriors. We'll be back right after this 2-minute break.
It's not something we think about much, except when it's in bad shape. At Holbrook Asphalt, we help cities, HOAs, and businesses avoid replacing painfully expensive roads and parking lots. To avoid the cost of replacing asphalt, you must effectively preserve it while it's still in good condition. University research has shown Holbrook Asphalt's HA5 slows asphalt aging by 67%. We make your pavement assets last longer, cost less to own, all while achieving higher property values. Visit holbrookasphalt.com to discover more.
Thank you for voting Adams Wealth Advisors the gold winner for Best Financial Planner in the Best of Northern Utah competition. Understanding your family, jobs, and goals is how Adams Wealth Advisors will continue to earn your trust.
This is Craig Adams. At Adams Wealth Advisors, we are here to help you receive peace of mind whether you've done a lot of planning or a little planning. Count on our team at Adams Wealth Advisors for honesty, professionalism, and integrity.
Visit adamswealthadvisors.com or call 752-1702 to schedule a time with...
Welcome back to Hurricane, where we have the Snow Canyon Warriors battling the Hurricane Tigers. As the fourth quarter begins, the ball goes inbounds to Will Warner over to Murdoch on the left wing, who gets it over. They swing it over to Levitt down on the right baseline. Gets it into Hamlin, who drives under the basket, circles around, lays up an alley-oop. Oh, to Levitt, just went off his hands. A beautifully designed play. But we almost had our first slam of the game there for Snow Canyon. Hurricane picks up the loose ball, though, and they're at the top of the key. That's Dawson Daly, gets it over to number 24. That's R.J. Hurst, who takes one bounce down to Tevz in the right corner. Snow Canyon in a 2-3 zone now on defense. Hurst's got it at the top of the key, gets it inside to Bateman, who takes a spin and lays it up. Little 5-footer in the lane, 4-2. Ball gets inbounds to Warner, who goes down the right side for Snow Canyon. Dribbles over to the left wing, who then gets a screen from number 32, Ryder Holt. Warner drives in, kicks it out, back out to Holt, calls for a screen at the top of the key, drives in right side, misses the right-handed layup, had a little shot there. She probably would like that one back. Hurricane gets the ball back, who gets the ball down to Hurst, feeds it inside. Tebbs gets the loose ball over to Dawson, gets it out to Hurst again, who swings it over to Dawson, who tries to work it inside. Great play by Hamlin on the defense there, top of the zone, but then it was thrown away that time by Warner, and Hurricane gets the ball right back. So Daly is at the top. Dawson Daly for Hurricane, calling out the play. Again, Snow Canyon in that 2-3 zone. Gets it inside to number 30. That's Kalen Hughes. Gets it out to Hurst for 3, and he got it. R.J. Hurst with the deep 3, and Hurricane calls a timeout as they cut the score from 39 to 26. We got 6:04 left here in the fourth quarter. Great job by Hurst just coming in and being ready to let it fly, and was able to find the bottom of the net. Got a couple of guys off the bench for Hurricane tonight that have performed well between Cheston Trebs and R.J. Hurst now. Well, Connor, we've had a little flurry of action there where Hurricane got a couple of buckets.
Yeah, shame on me. The one time I go away for a couple seconds there, Hurricane wants to pick it back up. But no, I'm glad to see that they did get some. I could hear the action down there. Kids were running back into the stadium to watch what's going on. But yeah, 26-39. Looks like Hurricane made them a nice little run in the past couple minutes here to start the fourth.
Yeah, a little bit sloppy on the Snow Canyon side, so they call a timeout. Will Warner brings the ball up, goes to the right wing, over to Murdoch at the top of the key, who gets it to Simichan on the left wing, over to Will Warner now, who's on the right wing, who dribbles to the middle of the court, calls out the play, and it looks like he's calling for a screen from the big guy, Levitt, who rolls to the hoop trying to do an alley-oop, but he gets it over to Simichan, who gets it over to Murdoch, who fakes the 3. Gets it back to Will Warner, who's down to 2 on the shot clock, puts up a 3, and it's off, no good. So good defense that time. Little confusion from Snow Canyon on what they wanted to run. And Hurricane with a 3-pointer can cut it to 10.
Yeah, this is a big opportunity now for Hurricane. Looks like they got Snow Canyon a little bit on their heels. They got to just take advantage.
That's right. Pass inside that time to Hughes, who kicks it back out to Tebbs, who then works it over to Daly, who brings it back out to the top to Hughes, who gets it inside to Tebbs, tries to run, get a little pass off to Jackman, but it got knocked out of bounds by Levitt, so it'll be Hurricane ball with 13 seconds left on the shot clock. Ball inbounds. R.J. Hurst at the top of the key, left side, passes over to Daly, gets it over to Jackman on the right side, who works it inside to number 30, Hughes, who goes up, passes off to Jackman, who goes up strong for the shot and gets fouled.
Yeah, it's been a fun battle there with Jackman and Levin going at it down low. The two 11s having their fun in the post, and you could see Jackman, he's starting to kind of, like we talked about, put that anchor in and kind of settle down.
Yeah.
Bear Levin looks like he's wasn't expecting a little bit much physicality coming out of there.
That foul that time was on number 21, Carter Murdoch. So Jackman at the line, puts up the first one, it rims out. If you're a Hurricane fan, you really need every little one to go in, and unfortunately that one bounced out.
Every point matters, and you know, each one of these helps cuts that lead down here.
Yeah, with 4:53 left, Hurricane down 13. Jackman at the line, toes it, puts it up, in and out again, but Nephi Iloa gets the rebound, bounces it into Jackman, loses control, who then looks like Levitt finds the ball as he's falling out of bounds, throws it off a Hurricane player, and it'll be Snow Canyon ball.
Yeah, I think he did a good job there. I see Nephi kind of still walked out and throwing it off his foot there as he laid there.
Here comes Snow Canyon down, hits Murdoch in the right corner, dribbles into the lane, kicks it out to Hamlin, and he drains a 3 on the left wing.
Luke Hamlin having himself a nice night. Good 3-ball there. Help put this cushion there.
Yeah, he's such a good fundamental player, Hamlin. He can pass, he can shoot, takes control of the offense. He's had a really solid game tonight. Here's Hurricane working it inside to the big fella, and he puts it up with his left hand. Caleb Jackman with 2.
That was a nice move there by Jackman. Like we said, if they can continue to find him there and let him go to work, you could tell that Jackman's starting to take over for this Hurricane Tiger team as he gets a block from behind.
That was Hammond who worked off the right side, got the block, but here is Levitt driving right baseline, loses control as he's about to go up. Here's R.J. Hurst off the right wing, and he puts it up, and it's no good, but he's fouled. One thing about the Hurricane kids, they're not going to just lay down. They're going to keep battling, and you're seeing some grittiness out there right now, Connor.
Yeah, under 4 minutes, I like that they're kind of pushing this needle and pushing the thread against Hurricane. I think we might not be in the realm here tonight of seeing our Holbrook asphalted serve, but
yeah,
who knows? Maybe we make it close and get an overtime period out of there.
Hurst steps to the line, hits the first one. Here's the second one up, and it's good. So R.J. Hurst has come in, had a really nice second half coming off the bench. Here's Snow Canyon bringing it down. Murdoch goes down the lane, kicks it to Levitt in the right corner, who works it back out to Will Warner, who's directing traffic now, what he wants to have happen here for Snow Canyon. Warner got to be quick to get a 5 count, dribbles the ball, goes down the right side, circles around underneath the basket, gets out to Murdoch, puts up the 3 and hits money.
It's the left-handed shot from Murdoch as it sinks in.
Just smooth as silk, that shot for Connor Murdoch. So Hurricane down 45-30 now with 3:08 to play. Here's Hurst coming off the screen. Great defense by Hamlin. Here's the big fella, Jackman, putting up a 3, no good. Here's Nephi Aloha up and in for 2. As you mentioned, he's got the energy. He's got a little bit of energy, Nephi does, for the Tigers.
Yeah, he's come off this bench and he's played some good minutes here tonight for the Tigers.
Coach Meacham's telling Snow Canyon to pull that ball out, do a little more spread, and Will Warner goes down the right side. They hit Cy Meacham, who curls off a curl, finds Hamlin in the left corner for a 3, no good. And a rebound by Nephi Iola. Down to Daly, who hits R.J. Hurst. Thought about shooting a 30-footer, puts it up, and he got it.
Oh, there it is.
R.J. Hurst.
Big bucket.
Making a play for our 6th man of the game.
Yeah, that was a big-time bucket there for Hurricane. Cut the lead down to 10 with 2 minutes and 12 seconds. There might be some life here for the Tigers.
Well, you know, they laid off of Hurst. They didn't think he would shoot that one. That was about 29 to 30 feet out, and he drained it. So we'll just, we'll take a timeout here. Snow Canyon does, but we'll just keep it right here. So we got 2:12 left here in the 4th quarter. Hurricane done a really nice job here in the 4th quarter, cutting the lead down to 10. Coach Meekum is over there instructing the Warriors on what he wants to have happen here in the final 2:12. Well, Connor, you got to be thinking of your defensive play of the game. We've had a few of them you can think about.
I think we might have seen it right there, that block from behind. I mean, we've seen Jackman with a couple of them tonight. Caden has just been playing very, very good basketball there for the Tigers. So I think that we look at his, and there's definitely no doubt that Caleb Jackman can be our defensive player of the game. I don't know if we can put it down to one play. He has a handful of blocks here tonight.
He's had a few of them, that's for sure. Well, as they break the huddle here, we got 2:12 left, as I mentioned, on the clock here in the 4th quarter. Snow Canyon will inbound the ball at midcourt. Cy Meacham is going to inbound it. A little surprised Hurricane isn't putting any pressure on him.
Yeah, you would think, because just before the possession they were playing a full court pressure, but it seems they're going to play off and stay in this 3-2 zone, it looks like.
Yeah, a little surprised by that. Here's Warner at the top of the key, picks up the dribble, passes over to the left side to Meacham, who dribbles right. Hits Warner on the right wing, comes back to Meacham at the top of the key, right at the H here at midcourt. Gets it over to Will Warner. They're down to 2 on the shot clock. And there's a steal by Tez, so Hurricane can cut the lead under 10. Here comes Iola down the lane. Nephi, and he scored! Foul on Levitt.
Oh, man, Keith, the Tigers are starting to go on the prowl. They're coming alive here in the 4th.
Connor, we've got ourselves a ball game here with 1:39 left. Iola can cut this to a 7-point lead.
Yeah, I like that Iola saw that. He got the steal for one, and in transition decided, I need to attack this basket. I'm not going to wait. I think that was the right decision there, and you see him pay off with the bucket and one.
Here's the foul shot, and he gets that. So 45-38, ball inbounded to Will Warner. Being hassled with full court pressure. Here's the foul by R.J. Hurst on Connor Murdoch. I keep calling him Connor. It's Carter.
Carter Murdoch.
Yeah. I'm surprised his grandma, who I work with, hasn't been texting me saying, call him by his right name. Sorry, Mary, if you can hear me. Anyways, here's Snow Canyon. They inbounds the ball. Will Warner to Cy Meacham, who's now at the top of the key. Dribbles right side, and they get a foul on Tebbs. Right now, that's the 16th foul on Hurricane.
Coming up right under a minute and a half here in the fourth. 45-38, Snow Canyon up over the Hurricane Tigers.
Here's Meacham, who inbounds the ball to Levitt in the backcourt, picks up the ball, gets it back to Meacham, who's being hassled by Tebbs a little bit. Meacham goes down the right side, hands it to Hamlin, passes over to Carter Murdoch, dribbles left, and hits Levitt, and there's a foul by R.J. Hurst with 1:12 left. I don't know, I almost would have, the shot clock was running down, wasn't it? Like 10 seconds left?
Yeah, that was a kind of a questionable time for the foul, maybe because it's Bear Levitt who had possession, and you know that there's a chance he's not your best free throw shooter. You can go ahead and try to attack that, but like you said, you probably want to just play the defense when you're only down by 7.
Boy, again, they gave the player the ball who was about to shoot a foul shot, and then they blow a whistle. A little surprised they let that one get in, but Hurricane wanted to call a timeout. I think it's a smart play. They're trying to ice the foul shooter, you know, trying to keep the run going.
Yeah, big free throws coming up here for Bear Levitt. If he makes these, I think this game might be as good as done. That's going to go ahead and give him a 9, I shouldn't say good as done, but a 9-point cushion with a minute left.
Yeah, I think you're right. If he can drain these two, there's just not enough time, I don't think. But, you know, stranger things have happened, so.
Expect the unexpected in Region 10. That's what they say, right?
When Snow Canyon was up 20 or 21, I would have never thought we'd have a 7-point ball game with minute 12, but hey, it happened.
They had a third quarter where they scored 3 points, and they had a fourth where they just took off from the get. And I think that is the difference maker here for Hurricane. If they came out in that third quarter the same way they come out here, completely different ball game right now.
Here's Levitt, foul shot. It's no good. Rebounded by Hurricane. So, almost a travel by Nephi Iola. Gets it over to Daly, who looking inside to the big guy. They get it into Jackman, who gets it out to Tebbs in the right corner. Jackman jumps in the air, passes it, throws it away. Meacham gets the ball out. Down the left side now, they foul him, so that'll send Meacham to the line for a 1-on-1. Boy, what a big defensive stand right there.
It just looked like a little bit too much hesitation when you go to the. You almost have to make that decision. If you're going to drive and attack, you got to commit. Because if you're going to pass, you need to be sure you have a wide open guy. What you don't want to do is just jump in the air and throw a ball
and not have any idea what you're going to do with it. Yeah. Here's Meacham at the line, and it rims out. R.J. Hurst with the rebound. He runs down court. He's at the top of the key, drives right, circles under the basket, and he throws it back court. So just like that, you're going to get a back court call with 44 seconds left.
And it seems like they're just trying too hard to set up the big shot. With 45 seconds to play, you're still able to go ahead, get the quick 2, go down in place of defense, and then worry about the big shot later.
Boy, that's 2 possessions they could have cut into that lead. You think about it, they get a couple of buckets there. We could be within a 3 or 4 point game.
Then you're worrying about the big shot, but now you're starting to put yourself in a tricky situation, especially if you're going to have to continue to keep fouling.
There's Snow Canyon. They get the ball into Will Warner, and he's doing a nice job keeping Carter Ashby just off of him. He's pretty much dribbled out about 10 to 15 seconds. Gets it over to Cy Meacham. Dribbles to the middle of the court. They're just running a spread, half-court spread, trying to keep the clock moving, and then there's a foul on Tebbs, and he is fouled out.
Yeah, and I would think that's going to go ahead and seal it up here. Regardless of the shots, come back. There's only 24.5 seconds left. Good rally by Hurricane in the fourth quarter, making a push, making it a close game, but just at the end, like we talked about, Keith, you got to go ahead and take the points while they're there. You can't always try to look for the big shot.
Well, and when it comes right down to it, they couldn't run a set to get a designed bucket, and two key turnovers, unfortunately. So Meacham's at the line, does a little follow through with the right hand motion, and then takes it over, puts it up, and it's in. Mentioned he hit a couple of key foul shots the other night against the Dixie Flyers in that upset victory.
Yeah, this is nothing new for Meacham here.
Meacham's got the ball for the second one, puts it up, and it's good, so that'll extend the lead to 9 with a 30-second timeout now taken by Snow Canyon to set up the defense. We'll keep it right here with 24.5 seconds left.
As we start to wind out the last few moments of this game here, we look at Hurricane and we look at the upcoming schedule for them, and I really do, I hope that they have a shot at getting that first region win this season, but it's a tough task ahead. You got Pineview and then you have Cedar, and both these teams have been playing good basketball. Pineview, the second half of region, has started to show there's some fight and competitiveness. This is a game that Hurricane, I think, really needed to try to squeak a win out, and definitely got to see if they can get some pride points in.
We just got an update. We got Pineview. You mentioned Pineview. They're up 58-57 with 16 seconds left over Crimson. So that would be a huge upset. You mentioned they've really started playing well the second half here. Here comes Hurricane. They get the ball in down to R.J. Wright, who tries to feed it in to Bateman. He loses it off his hands, and now Carter Murdoch's got the ball for Snow Canyon, and he's fouled. 15 seconds left. That'll all but put this one in the refrigerator door. Boy, that would be a huge upset if Pineview was able to knock off Crimson.
They have some guys over there, Griffin Shepard, Nat Schroeder.
Here's Murdoch with the first shot, and he misses that one. He's got to wipe his hands through that nice hair, and then he can make it.
Get some of the sweat off it.
That's right. Second one's up and good. See, I told you.
It's going to make it a 10-point game. 12 seconds here on the clock.
Down to R.J. Wright on the baseline, puts it up, no good. Rebounded by Will Warner. There's 5 seconds left, and they foul.
Didn't need to do that one there.
Oh.
At that point, you probably just let your game roll on out. You don't want to give them the, because now you're shooting 2 no matter what.
Well, that's 3 or 4 possessions here just in the last 2 minutes, Connor, that Hurricane could have had some buckets. They had their chances.
They had every chance, like you said, to get back into this game, but inconsistency on offense has kind of been the issue all season long. You know, they've played relatively good defense.
Yeah.
They've held a good Snow Canyon team, granted without Owen Mackey, to just 50 points, but I don't know. For Hurricane, got a feel for him. It's always tough when you're going through a season. You just can't seem to put it together and get that first win in region.
That's right. Will Warner had both foul shots, and that's the end of the game with the score 50 for Snow Canyon, 38 for Hurricane. We'll come back in 1 minute. We'll do our post-game show and wrap this thing up as the Snow Canyon Warriors have knocked out the Hurricane Tigers. We'll be back in 1 minute.
Relaxing, comfortable space. Boulevard Home offers the guaranteed best prices on furniture, appliances, mattresses, and more. And buy with no interest financing. Shop Boulevard Home, because home is who we are.
I'm Bo Bradshaw, owner of Bo's Auto Parts. I want to watch the game as well, so I'll make this quick. When you come into Bo's Auto Parts, our store mission is simple. Supply our customers with the best auto parts and the best customer service we can provide. Come on by and see if we can deliver.
Hey, it's Luke with Udine Associates at American Family Insurance. At Udine Associates, we love insurance so you don't have to. With a quick call, we can get you an instant quote with the right coverages. My team of licensed agents are ready to help you with better insurance from American Family. Give us a call at 435-251-9102.
I'm Aaron Crane, host of the Region 10 Recap. Want to relive the highlights of the game? Look for the Region 10 Recap every week. Just follow St. George News on Facebook or go to stgeorgenews.com.
right, Connor, welcome back here to the Tiger Den in Hurricane, Utah. We just saw the Snow Canyon Warriors upend the Hurricane Tigers with a score of 50-38. We just got a update that Pineview has upset Crimson Cliffs.
What a big-time win, man. That's big deal. Crimson Cliffs, they've been rolling, and Pineview, we just mentioned right before the game wrapped up here, they put together some good wins, and Nash and Griffin combining for 46 of the 60 points.
That's incredible. They've really turned it on. You know, I was impressed, though, Connor, with this game here. Snow Canyon, I really liked the leadership of Will Warner. He kind of took over, and, you know, if I was to make a player of the game a nominee, I think I would turn it over to him. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, no doubt. You know, we look at some of our awards here in our Johnson Pediatric postgame show. See why so many people choose Johnson for their kids' dental needs. Call for the new patient special, 656-0511. Look ahead. But what I do want to say is we get to some of our, like you said, players of the game. Will Warner just took over. We saw it on the defensive side of the ball. He was getting steals. He was putting that pressure up on the guards for Carter Ashby and making it difficult.
Yeah.
And then on the other end, it just seemed like he found his shot. He found his confidence. No Owen Mackey, no problem. Will Warner took over, and he successfully took over that number one role.
Yeah, I really liked how he came out firing, and he, like you said, he looked real smooth tonight. So, yeah, congrats to him as our player of the game. What about our defensive side of stuff? What are your thoughts there?
Yeah, we look at our Morgan Pest Control defensive player of the game, and I think it just comes down to I almost want to go defensive player of the game, and it was Caleb Jackman for me because he was just trying to do everything he could tonight here for Hurricane, and honestly, I would have been so joyed to see Owen Mackey against Jackman as they both battled it down there, but he just was not letting them get any easy buckets. I know Bear Levitt tried a couple times. We saw Luke Hamlin have to drive and kick a few times. Yeah. Jackman was just playing so good down low in the post that I would have to make him my Morgan Pest Control defensive player of the game.
Well, I'll bet unofficially he had at least 4 or 5 blocks tonight and did a really nice job clogging up that paint. You know, for when the Snow Canyon guards would drive in there, he did a nice job shutting things down, making things difficult, but
I would say our Bowes Auto Part, crucial part of the game, has to be that third quarter, and I say the whole third quarter. The reason for that being Hurricane went out there and just couldn't get anything rolling, and that was just a crucial moment because Snow Canyon didn't necessarily take off. They just, you know, they played basketball.
They maintained,
You know, they went in and they did their job, which Hurricane did it, and I think that's part of the crucial part of why they're going to be going home still without that first region win.
Well, and we talked about in the pregame, they always seem to have one or two quarters where they just can't put the ball in the bucket.
And we've seen a few teams like that. You know, Pineview this year has been one of those teams that realistically have struggled. You know, they've had a lot of games where they played 3, like you said, 3 good quarters, and then either it's the third or the fourth, but no matter what, there's something that's fall through.
Yeah.
But you can see those teams who put it together like Pineview is, they start to rally off a few wins. Hurricane got 2 more chances, and it's going to be against Pineview, which we just talked about being a good team starting to put it together, and then Cedar, which is one of the middle impact teams, I think, in region. So is there a chance? Of course there's a chance. There's a chance every night you go out there and play, but it is looking a little bleak for Hurricane, and I hope that they can kind of get it all put together come the end of region.
I agree with you. I couldn't say any more about that. You just hate to see him not be able to get at least one, but for our 6th-man player of the game off the bench, I almost want to throw R.J. Hurst out there.
He made some plays at the end where I felt like Hurricane had a little bit of life. You know, I walked back in the fourth quarter starting up, and like you said, Hurst starting it off. He had a couple steals, then he comes down on the other end, hits a big 3. Definitely had the opportunity for it, but not entirely sure how well. I mean, there's so many guys that came in with the sub, you can really go any way.
That's true. I did, you mentioned Nephi Iola. We wondered where the bench points would come from in the second half, and he did a nice job, with the energy and blocking a couple shots and going to the bucket hard.
Interesting, I was going to say, it looked like his brother had the start, and it seemed that Nephi just kind of had the energy tonight because that's who they decided to roll with.
Yeah. Well, another great Friday night, Connor. It's been a pleasure, calling the game with you. And we're getting the cue that Big Matt wants to wrap things up here. So with that said, we're going to sign out from the Tigers Den. This has been Keith Curtis and the big guy.